been a hot minute, hasn't it? So, this is a brand new video series. It's basically I read stories from AmITheAsshole subreddit to you, CarsWorldFan, and you get to exercise your Aussie judgment card on people.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're better at reading when someone's an asshole than I am.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
You're also a very opinionated human being, so.
Well, let's just say I'm not afraid to speak my mind.
You might be better at judging character, but essentially, I have 5 stories currently open in Firefox. I read you each one of the stories, then as I'm reading, you can either interject, or you can wait until the story is finished and then give your opinion.
Alright.
So, we're gonna start with the first story. And it's... Am I the asshole for telling my sister to stop acting pregnant? For context, my sister is known to be a huge drama queen. She draws attention to herself for even the most minor things. She's the kind of person to sob over a paper cut. My sister found out she was pregnant 3 weeks ago. She's barely in her first trimester. I'm currently locked in a house with her and she's being insufferable. She is planning her baby shower already and creating her registry. She has barely vomited, but she's like so sick. She doesn't want to get out of bed because her back hurts. Keep in mind she has no baby bump, and expects me and her husband to bring her shit whenever she asks. Yet she conveniently can walk when she wants to bake. Whenever we eat dinner, she takes a lot extra because she's eating for 2. I feel like she's using her baby to make everything about her and make us all slaves to her. I have to cater to her because of the baby, or my parents get pissed. Today she made a stupid joke about her pregnancy at breakfast, and I said, "We get it, you're pregnant, you can stop playing it up so much." We got into a huge fight, and now it sucks to be locked in my parents' house with her. I just can't take it. It'll drive me crazy to deal with her extra attitude for 40 weeks. Am I the asshole?
No, I don't think. Okay, I've never dealt with someone who is pregnant, but I would say, speaking as a woman, yes, major overreaction on the sister's part, not the storyteller. I don't exactly know what you want. My opinion, like with this one, is you want the writing side of it, or just the storyline?
Just the story itself. There's no way of being able to critique it story-wise because it's not a story. It's just like, people going to this Reddit and just asking for advice. Are they in the wrong? Are they not in the wrong? Could they handle the situation differently? I suppose is what I'm asking.
I do know of some people who lap up being sick, and I recently unfriended one on Facebook because she was majorly overreacting everything. Okay, and I mean, yeah, I have a chronic knee problem, but I don't go on and on about that. I mean, I still get out and do things, like, yeah, I go horse riding and such, and when I can, I'll go running. But, and my friends know I've got it, but I don't go saying every time they want to go shopping or something, it's like, oh, I can't go because my knee's killing me. I'm like, yeah, let's go shopping. If my knee plays up, I'll put the brakes on it. That sort of thing. So I think, yeah, the writer of this problem, I think it's also the parents involved, of course, like, they want the baby to be healthy and everything, but yeah, the person at fault here is the one who's pregnant.
Yeah, for me, I feel like they're kind of also, the person that posted the story on here, the way that they wrote it, it seems like it's told from like a teenager's perspective. And so
but I mean, like, if the other person said that they're married, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but they haven't got kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, like, and especially at this moment, in time with the quarantine and isolation problems, you're going to get a lot of family issues like this.
Oh yeah. What is it? There's a very scary statistic in the U.S. that apparently CPS agencies are getting like an influx of calls because there's more child abuse going on.
We've got a big
issue.
Yeah, our big issue here at the moment, and even running TV ads on it, is domestic violence between parents and that. So they're actually opening up more shelters for women to stay away from their partners because of domestic violence, so they can be isolated away from them.
So the final verdict of the story is they are an asshole then?
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, next story. Am I the asshole for refusing a woman to buy her some groceries? I come from the country of Georgia. The social economic situation is great here. I am forced to count every bit of my money, and I am setting a daily limit on money I am allowed to spend. The incident happened several hours ago. I was out buying groceries for myself in a store. I went to the checkout and paid. I still had another store to visit, and I had already allotted most of my leftover money to it. As I was about to leave, an elderly man in his 70s or 80s asked me to buy something for him. My mother always taught me to help the elderly in need. They aren't even given $100 per month as Social Security check in Georgia, and it is really hard for these people. She has always taught me that helping them is the same as helping my recently deceased grandmother who raised me. Anyway, I followed him to the stall and grabbed whatever he wanted for him and paid it at the cash out. The man thanked me and left the store. As I was about to leave, the woman with around 5 to 6 year old boy came up to me and asked me to pay part of her groceries too. I was already left with almost nothing, and if I had decided to help her out and use my remaining money on her, I'd end up unable to finish buying items from the list. Therefore, I apologized and declined and told her it was the last bit of my money. Suddenly, she got mad and started insulting me and saying that I was ungrateful for what I already have and that I should be ashamed of myself. I'm socially awkward and quickly left that store to go to the one I was planning to visit and buy the remaining items from the list. But I cannot help but think about that woman now. Too long didn't read. I paid for a small fee for Grandpa's grocery in the store. A woman came up and asked me to buy stuff for her too, but I refused, or I couldn't finish buying everything off my grocery list. Essentially is that. Am I the asshole for refusing the woman to buy her some groceries?
Absolutely not, because the woman is just taking advantage. She saw that person being nice and decided, I'll play up the person's kindness. I don't have a girl, but yeah. Okay, like, I used to try to be nice and help people out where I could, but when it comes to money problems, I am very selfish in that regard, simply because I have actually, lost money because of that. And I agree, times are tough right now. Everyone's suffering. And just because you see one person do a kind act for somebody else doesn't mean you should take advantage of that.
That reminds me of this woman had saw that I had bought some soup, and she stops me. She's like, "Hey, can you buy me some food?" And I would have been like, well, here's the issue. This was before I started working the hours that I worked.
Yeah.
I only had enough to buy the soup for that day, and I explained that to her, and she went off on me, and I was like, dude, the fuck's your problem? I can't feed you and your 18 kids. I'm sorry.
And that's the problem with today's society. It's like everybody just expects a handout, and it's not going to happen. Like, yes, some people occasionally take pity on somebody else, and they'll help them out, but it's not an opportunity for you to jump in and try to take advantage too. That you don't know what was behind the original motive for helping a person in the first place, and you're just going to sound like an absolute bitch if you rant and rave because somebody else won't help you as well.
Honestly, I don't think that this person's an asshole. However,
No, absolutely not.
This story does belong on r/entitled people.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people like that nowadays, which is really sad. It's, you know, it's one thing to ask somebody for help, but it's another thing to take advantage of somebody else.
Next story. It's really short. I think it's almost a paragraph from what I'm looking at right now. And it says, "Will I be the asshole if I asked a coworker how pregnant she is?" I have a coworker who is not pregnant and is always gloating about how physically fit she is. However, I noticed ever since she started 2 years ago has been parking in the expecting mother's parking spots. One time taking the last space from me while I was pregnant and on a walking distance restriction. Today after I parked in the normal spots, my baby is 4 months now, yay. I saw her park in the spots again and it made me irrationally angry. Would I be the asshole if I called her out and asked her, "So how many years pregnant are you?" She has no restrictions and HR has done nothing about it and has been told by multiple people.
I think it's something that rather than one person facing that person on their own, maybe talk to a few other colleagues and confront the woman together. Because if more than one person does it at the same time, the other person's guilty party's back into a corner. So they either have to, you know, say, yes, I was wrong, or just say, you know, it's my life, you know, then that can go to management.
Honestly, if you catch your coworker doing something stupid, you should call them out. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Call them out on that shit. But it's like the people who fucking park in the disabled spot. They don't have a fucking disabled placard. So final verdict is they aren't the asshole for calling them out on that.
No. Just the way they do it, they should be careful of.
Alrighty. So next story. Am I the asshole for warning my friend about a creep she met on Tinder? This happened last month, back when in-person classes were being held. My 20-year-old female friend Claire is a frequent Tinder user. God, I hate it when people put fucking stuff in parentheses. She texted me that she met a guy and that they were going to BWW to meet. I said cool and asked her for his info so I could creep on his social media and see if he's cute. I was shocked to see that it was Boris. Boris and I are in the same major and we've had several classes together. He's quite frankly a creep and generally gross. First, he has cystic acne and doesn't even try to take care of it. He's also missing 2 teeth in the lower roll and he has terrible BO. Imagine the smell of old blood and straight up ass. None of these... Okay. I've heard worse though. I've heard worse. No, I just love how that description just made you chuckle.
Honestly, I guess our kids I went to school who are like that. That's just, yeah.
None of these things are apparent on his social media. Worst thing is that he has no boundaries in terms of advertising things that should be private. He has a Pornhub sticker on his laptop. He told his lab partner she looked like his fave actress in front of the entire class. And he wore his he wrote his end of term essay last semester about sex dolls. It was a marketing class. Overall, Boris just sucks. Anyways, I told her all this and she accused me of being shallow. I told her just wait. After the date, she called me and said that he stunk really bad and that he tried to guess her cup size within the first 15 minutes. I gloated for a minute and she said she still thought I had been too quick to judge, even though I was ultimately right. It's just been a sticking point between us ever since. Am I the asshole?
No. Okay.
No.
You and I both know what happened with my relationship, my last one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, sometimes even the cutest guys can end up, you know, just being completely wrong.
He sounds like a fucking neckbeard.
Yeah.
He sounds like a fucking neckbeard. I just, like, I have r/neckbeard, flashbacks, and I'm like, this person is not wrong for saying that this Boris character is a creeper. Sometimes your friends know what's up.
Yeah, and the biggest mistake we make, especially when we're younger, as teenagers, like speaking to me because I'm older than you, yeah, is the fact that we just don't stop to listen to it. Always think that, you know, you're right and everybody else is wrong. Or the mistake I made, thinking that you could change somebody.
Alrighty. So, next story. Have to shift around in my chair and make myself comfortable.
Oh my goodness.
Am I
You crack me up.
Am I the asshole for telling my friend that her failure is her fault? I feel really bad about this, but I couldn't take it. Basically, I, 17-year-old female, have known my friend, 17-year-old female, since we were 3. However, her family moved away when we were 7, but we've kept in touch. We didn't get to see each other in person often, maybe once every 2 years, but we talked regularly and tried to FaceTime once every 2 weeks. Since we've turned 16, though, we've both sort of got different lifestyle. She goes to parties, hooks up with boys, and chooses to eat out more than in. While I've gotten into fitness, prefer to eat at home, and attend the social gatherings less often. And this is fine. Everything likes different things. Last year was a very bad year for me school-wise. I really struggled with focusing and fell into a bit of a depression. My friend wasn't doing too well in school either. We decided to help each other through the next year so we can both attend our dream school. I worked my ass off in chemistry, my worst subject. I did nothing but school, extracurriculars, and home for 4 months. I'd call my friends on the phone for fun. My friend went out to parties and was still struggling. I started tutoring her on FaceTime for calculus and biology. I did my best not to talk about this person misspelled 2 and just put a T. So that's what screwed me up. So already 10 points taken off. I did my best not to talk about my own successes in front of her because I knew sometimes it made her upset. When we were calling, school came up, I mentioned that I was proud of my progress in chemistry as I had went from a 45% average. You're already going, oh lord, I can see where this is going.
No, it was correct in the English. She said, like, so went, should I have gone from? No, I went from. Bad English, but keep going.
I mentioned that I was proud of my progress. In chemistry, I had went from a 45% average in junior year to a 97% for senior year. For me, my brain is trying to read this in a very quick manner, so that's the reason why I stutter and then I go back some, is because I'm trying to get my brain to slow down.
It was just the English grammar I was correcting.
Oh yeah, I know that must drive you crazy.
It does.
Don't you hate it when you read something and then your brain wants to correct everything?
Every day on Facebook.
My friend blew up on me. She said that she couldn't stand how perfect I was, how her parents were always compared her to me. I was shocked. This was the first time I heard about this. She said she deserved to go to school more than I did, and that her problems were worse than mine, etc. I got pissed off at this point, and in a moment of anger, I told her that it wasn't my fault she chose to blow off her extracurriculars and go to party instead of applying herself, and that it wasn't my fault that she doesn't have the discipline I have. I felt bad as soon as I hung up, because her problems last year were objectively more difficult than mine to deal with. But at the same time, I feel justified in my anger because I worked hard. Am I the asshole?
No.
No. Honey,
okay.
No.
Yeah. You're always going to have people go off on different paths, even your friends. I mean, I've got friends who I was friends with in primary school who are still friends with me, and we're just completely different paths, you know. We're still friends.
You know what this person is an asshole for, though?
What?
Still being friends with the asshole that they mentioned. You don't, honestly, OP, you don't need her. If if she can't improve, then you know what? She's not your problem, and you have no right to feel bad. Honestly, final verdict: person's not an asshole? Am I the asshole for reminding my husband's female friend that my husband is my husband and not hers?
Answer straight away, no.
My story's done. We don't need to read this one. She's already said her judgment. Anyway, my husband Jake and I have been together for 6 years, and he has been friends with Carly for 2 years longer than that. I suspect that Carly has feelings for Jake, but he has never had feelings for her. I've never been thrilled about their friendship, but I trust my husband and have total confidence that he would never cheat. That is your first mistake. A year ago, Carly moved into our neighborhood. She lives alone and she's picked up the habit of asking Jake to help her out with housework and with maintenance. When her water heater broke, she called Jake. When she needed help setting up the TV, she called Jake. When her trees needed trimming, she called Jake, etc., etc. You get the idea. Jake and Carly also work near each other downtown, and a few days a week she'll ask him for a ride to work when she doesn't feel like driving. She's also started dropping by our house unannounced, usually when she's having a bad day and wants to vent to Jake about it. She relies on him heavily for emotional support 24/7. While I've tried to be patient and respectful of my husband's friendship with her, I've become less and less tolerant of Carly in the past few months, as I feel she's becoming a constant presence in our marriage. The last straw came yesterday. As a medical worker, I've been pulling insanely long hours at the hospital. Yesterday, I finally had a day off and I was very excited to spend some time with Jake. Just after breakfast, she received a text from Carly asking if he can help her move some furniture around, because she decided to redecorate. He told her he can't because it's my day off and we're spending the day together. She then calls him and explains that it shouldn't take more than an hour, and her living room is a mess and she could really use his help getting things in order. At this point, I snapped. I took the phone and told her that Jake said no, and that she needs to respect when he wants to spend time with me, his wife. When she started to argue, I said, "I'm sorry, Carly, but I think it's time for you to find your own husband," and hung up. Jake was shocked. Dude,
Extra points there.
Extra points. I give you credit. I give you credit for that. Dude, I think if somebody had done that with my man, I'd have fucking popped him and said, "No, bitch, she's mine." But Jake was shocked and thought I was far too harsh. He thinks that I should have that I should have some compassion and said, "How would you feel if you were 35 alone and without many friends?" I feel sorry for her. At that, I questioned whether or not I was actually in the wrong here. Reddit, am I the asshole?
Absolutely not. I can see, when you are in a relationship, you usually don't see the red flags, but everybody else can see them, and I've seen a billion red flags here, which, as I said in my previous relationship, unfortunately, I did not see. But yeah, so definitely not in the wrong.
So it's the same story, but they posted an update. So it says update, and it's in big bold letters. Jake and I drank some wine and had a long talk about Carly. We both apologized, and I said I was sorry for making a harsh comment to Carly, and he apologized for making me feel that sometimes he prioritizes her needs over mine. He said I will always be his number one priority, and moving forward he will make that extra clear to Carly. He said that he should have set boundaries a long time ago. Oh, shit. And that Carly needs to learn to be less dependent on him. After that, we drank more wine and went through the comments on this post. We had a lot of laughs and plenty of things we agreed and disagreed with, and a lot of eye rolls. Reddit, you never fail to entertain.
Yeah, okay, it sounds like, well, I mean, the only problem with that is if you're going to be resolving issues while drunk, it's not a good idea. What are your chances of remembering what you said?
And then they follow it up with, after further discussion, Jake decided to give Carly a call. I apologized for my comment, and then I gave the phone to Jake and left the room so they could talk. I didn't hear the conversation, but according to Jake, it did not go well. Carly was upset and defensive when Jake told her she was in the wrong for arguing after he and I both told her no about the furniture moving issue. She didn't think she had crossed any lines, and she told Jake I was being too sensitive, controlling, and that I was going to end their friendship. Jake defended me and said that it was his own ideas to set boundaries, and that I've never told him to stop being friends with her. They were both upset when the conversation ended. If either of us hear from her in the upcoming days, I'll post another update. And I'm gonna go ahead and bookmark this one. You're clapping like, yeah, bitch!
I am. That. Yep.
So, last story.
Okay.
And, it's called, Am I the Asshole for Forcing My Wife to Take a Shower? She hasn't bathed, changed clothes, or done any household things since Animal Crossing / Doom was released. I realize I have a problem with gaming, but that's besides the point. I pre-ordered...
I'll be the judge of that.
I pre-ordered both and a few more things for her as a semi-early anniversary gift, and she absolutely loves them. Too much. I didn't say a word the first few days. I understand excitement, but it got close to a week. I made a bath for her, and she said that she'd get into it later. Later, as in 2 hours, the water was cold, so she was no longer interested.
Oh, darn.
After that, I'd remind her every other day before work, but no luck. I'd come home and she'd still be in the same clothes, playing something, and starving half the time because she'd get too into the game and forget to eat. I'd cook supper and hear about her day, which would always be game accomplishments. She has no mental health problems and is definitely not depression.
One word. Unplug.
In fact,
unplug it.
I just love how you're like already like, I have judgment, and that's you need to do more things.
Oh, I know what needs to be done. Maybe unplug.
In fact, it feels quite the opposite. She gets super happy and excited about almost everything, and bad news is always faced with optimism. I knew she'd cling to the games, but I would never imagine it being this bad. Today, she was able to start playing a new one I pre-ordered and admitted she's probably not leaving the room for a day or so. I outright asked that she takes a shower before she plays, but that doesn't go well because she's really looking forward to it. I had enough. It's gross, and I already moved to the couch a week ago. So I explained that if she wants to live that way, fine. I'll be moving to our shed. It has AC and power, so it's not bad at all. Until she bathes, and that upset her because she felt like she was being treated like a child and being forced to do things. I told her she was acting like a child and started packing my shit. She swears I'm being a jerk, and I personally feel I was slightly overdramatic, but I was pushed to at this point. Bonus info. We're both in our mid-20s, no kids, no intent on kids, and I have a halfway decent job, so she stayed at home long before the current situation. Is he the asshole?
No. He is.
Fucking shower.
Take a shower. Take a shower!
You don't sound like you had fun, though.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was completely distracted by a fire truck. On Facebook. I started a really brilliant illustration of a fire truck, and I'm just drooling over it. It's like CGI.
You're like, fire truck.
Yeah. Melbourne Fire Brigade. Sorry. I'm getting out of my foot now. Sorry. That's my world. That is my world. It's like, yeah, it's happened. I've been on a bus and I just happen to glance up from my phone and I see this fire truck pull up alongside and I'm like, bolts it up right in front of him. He's like, what the heck? I'm up there with a phone taking a photo. That's what happens when you're addicted to firefighting. Sorry.
I mean, I have my gaming, you had your firefighting, so it's a win-win in the end.
Unfortunately, though, my firefighting's on hold at the moment for the virus.
Fucking. So I'm just gonna end this video by saying, be grown, keep your ass at home, and we will see you lovelies in the next episode. Bye!
Yeah, I don't believe in destiny. I just do what's best for me. Don't listen to my enemies. They're just full of jealousy. Yeah, this legacy. You gon' see what's left of me. You gon' see success in me. You ain't seen the rest. I just wanna be the best at what I know, better than the rest, just watch me grow. Put me to the test and watch me go. This is my quest, I'ma make it known. They call me obsessive, oh I know. Call me selective with my notes. Call me aggressive with my flow. Call me offensive even though yo, I ain't gonna lie, life's tough. Try to get by, life's rough. Try to do it right, it's not enough. Even though you try, you still mess up. But I'm still gonna fight for what I love. Still gonna die for what I love. Still gonna try, I won't give up. Still gonna fight until I